How did a team filled with hope and talent descend into this abyss of mediocrity? Join us as we discuss the death of this season. Welcome.
All right. That was the intro, man. Yeah. All right. So, I started that intro out when I was making it, and it was all gloom and doom and death of the season, and it was very first 48 themed. And I sent it to you, and you saw where I didn't. And then it's one of those things where, like, I probably shouldn't ever think I'm going to do a podcast right after the game because my dooming
emotions.
It's bad. So, no, then I came up with the idea of, I don't know. I'm not going to quit. I mean, like I said, Barner's never quit. But right. I mean, so right before
they make it tough on you, but yeah, we're still here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, 47 years in. How many of those have been? I need to look at that. I need to look at the season since I've been alive and see what I've actually lived through, like on the grand total. But
don't do that to yourself.
I know. I'm gonna do it in a minute and let AI figure that out. But I didn't want to cut you off right before I hit record because you were talking about something that I wanted to save. Because the way that this, I mean, like we're talking about recruits. So, and you think just jumping ahead of where we were going to start, but you think that this is starting to, so you're talking about Perry Thompson, him not seeing the field.
I just said I'm worried, man.
Yeah.
And I know that he's younger than, he came in, he was a late enrollee, but I'm just worried about that talent. He'll be utilized somewhere, like he got one catch for 3 yards.
Yeah.
Just, like you're just not seeing the field. And when these kids are seeing the field, we have a quarterback that can't get the ball to him.
So that's why I was hearing that we were spreading the running game around so much is because of the younger guys that are going to be here next year. And they were, trying to get them some carries, keep them happy with this year so that we don't have to worry about keeping them. But
I mean, Cobb got 4 carries. Austin got 5.
Right. So that's what I was going to say. It's not like there's
Peyton took his, normal 7
right.
for 1 yard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was pulling up too. I mean,
and Simmons had that ridiculous reverse, which is not his fault. I mean, they only gave him one person to throw to. Like, you give him a hot route, give him a screen on the other side, something, man.
Yeah. And that was, I mean, like, that's just
and that was such a
iceberg.
Oh, I know, but that was such a momentum killer, man. We were just moving the ball. Like, Hugh Freeze literally just said on the sidelines right before then, like, we need to find a way to win first down. We need to win first down. And they won it on the drive right before that and then got a first down, and you're going to pull that shit, man. Like,
yeah, I know. And it felt so like when Gus was around, I know there's people that are saying they wish they'd never left. But one of the things that used to drive me nuts was that the trick play, like you lived and died by the trick play. And that just felt like if we're going to win this game, I don't want to die. I don't want to live on the trick play that beat Vandy. That felt so disgusting to me.
Yeah, and it's crazy as they ran that play like 2 series before us, and theirs failed too. They ran the same exact play. So it's just like, what are we doing, man? I don't know. It's frustrating.
I mean, again, we outgained them on offense. Total yards, 100 yards. Rushing yards was only 4 yards difference. First downs were pretty even. Penalties were still off the chart. But I mean, the main thing, like we were talking about in the little chat thread that we have, is that the defense, just by the end of the game, they're gassed. And it's not their fault. But I mean, they're holding teams that score 35 points to 7, 10, and eventually you're going to give up that 17 like they did. Of course they're gassed. I mean,
we can't get any rhythm on the offense, and so you're just leaving them out there. And they were good in the first half, but then a 6-minute, 7-minute drive, and then another, what was that last one? I think almost 9 minutes off the clock, 8 minutes off the clock. Like, it's hard to win a football game like that, man.
Yeah. I mean,
what really just like what really gets me and is just so frustrating to me is not only the play calling, but it's like Hugh Freeze talking to the media afterwards, and he's like, "Well, during this bye week, we need to find our identity." Dude, it's too late to find your identity.
Yeah,
Like
no.
that
You,
needed to
but you,
be found out in spring ball.
but
Like,
in Kentucky, you found
like,
an identity.
yes, and then you go away from it.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, we had to go away from the run because it wasn't working. But the way,
Um,
if you're going to keep running into the middle of that loaded box, the way it's going to work is that you do it for so many times. Where Jarquez is getting 28 carries, by the second half, it's working because you beat those guys to death. But yeah, of course, it doesn't work in the first quarter. I mean, you have it's so
you have to
frustrating.
commit to it,
Yeah, he's
and I
so
mean,
quick to pull away.
he's yeah. He even said he wanted to pull away in the Kentucky game, and it's like you've just got to commit to it and make it work. And you can run outside the edges. You don't have to run it right up the middle.
No, you don't have to. No,
Yeah, you can have some motion. You can pull a tight end. You can throw some screen passes out there, which is just an extended handoff.
yeah,
Like there's ways around it, but it's just like, I mean, if you take away Thorne's rushes and the one for Malcolm Simmons, we have 21 total rushes between the three backs.
yeah,
And Jarquez had more than that during, versus Kentucky himself.
yeah.
So, I mean, we had a total of 88 rush yards in that game. And it's just like, that's tough, man.
So who's calling the plays? Like, I'm being totally ignorant and not like I'm on a podcast. Who's calling the plays? I don't understand.
It has to. Hugh said he was taking it over, and he's pretty vocal on his headset when when the offense is out there. He's talking. He's looking at his sheet. Now, I don't know if he's given the OC, this is what I think, and then he's ultimately calling it. I don't truly know that. I don't know. I'm not deep enough in the
Well, I mean,
program to know that stuff, but
yeah, and I've only heard I asked that because like on one of his press conferences, he says that they're sharing duties, which
and
is
that makes me
makes.
think that he's given a scheme, and then it goes from there. I
But I
don't.
mean, it's crazy. We're backed up. Their punter was killing us. Backed up at
Oh,
like
dude,
10.
that's the typical things with Auburn the past few years, though. They
Yes,
down us on the 2 yard line, 1 yard
yeah.
line. It's like, dude, we can't catch a break for anything.
And
Like,
then
I'm
we
not
try
making
the dumbest thing again, though.
like it. Yes, let's go. In a shotgun formation in the end zone, and
Yeah,
not even like just try to get 3 yards on that first play, man. Get yourself out of the end zone, and then they're lucky that they didn't call a safety on that one.
yeah,
They're
and
really lucky about that because
yeah. It was so.
his momentum was stopped right at the line, and they were hitting and pushing him back.
Yeah,
Like they're lucky that one didn't happen.
but I mean, it's. I even put it on a tweet, man. Like,
Once again, I would love to know what that play call was.
yeah.
Did Thorne did
Did he change it? Yeah,
did he change it? Did he take an RPO and just said, "I'm going to go with it,"
yeah.
because he gets so panicked and he just wants to take off, and it's like you can't do that there, man.
No, well, I mean, the I'm not I don't know schemes. Like, I know people are like, if you don't know schemes, shut your mouth. I mean, but what I see out there is literally what happens when I'm playing a video game and I'm like, let's just try something crazy, or I get bored or lose my concentration. Is to do just go totally away from the common sense thing that you do inside your 2 yard line.
Yeah, it's like, what can we do here that they will least expect? It's just
Totally.
like, let's just pull some random shit and just go with it.
Which is
And
what
it
I do
doesn't
if I'm playing a
work.
video game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not working. I
No,
think
not
and part of it, man, to me too, though, is like I don't think the kids like. I mean, you can still see them like even during the Kentucky game having fun and whatnot. But like Hugh's demeanor on the sidelines, like he looks defeated. Like he really looks defeated to
yeah,
me, and it's just
there's a
like
look
they're
of
gonna.
disbelief.
Yeah, and those players see that. They're going to follow in his footsteps. If he doesn't believe in himself, why should they? You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's lost this team. I don't think he's lost the team.
No, I don't think he has either. I
But then
think he's
again,
lost
you
himself though.
yeah, but then again, you look at the, after the game footage of those guys almost fighting on the field, and it's just like, well, he may be close to losing the team because I mean, Auburn's not going to tolerate that, man. Like
No,
that's
yeah.
just not what we do. Like we don't have brawls on the field. It's not some. It just doesn't happen. But I mean, that footage, like, hey, you took your losses, man. Get in the locker room.
Yeah,
Like,
that was my thought too. Like,
just get
they're
them
on your
away
field celebrating because you
because they just
lost.
whooped you. Yeah,
Right.
you put up 7 points against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And if it
Oh,
wasn't for Ricardo fighting his ass off, it would have been a shutout.
yes. You mean
You know,
Rivaldo? You mean that on that?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
that tight end, yeah, the
Yes,
tight
yeah,
end like, where he comes out and he fought for like, I mean,
yeah,
dude, that one play was, dude, I don't know, his long that was a 30-yard fight for him to get in
yeah.
the
He
end zone.
literally leaned from the 4 yard line. His feet
Yes, it's
stayed on the
just
ground. He just
stretching it out, man.
yeah,
So if it wasn't for that, I bet we're blank because I don't have confidence that we'd have kicked a field goal there and made it.
no. And then that brings up a whole nother thing to just complain about the field goal to put. Why I don't know, man. Why, that field goal was not going to be made. Everybody knew that. Towns knows it. He's in the worst spot. I hate seeing people that are ragging on that kid because he came in as a freshman. I believe he walked on because he's from Auburn, wanted to play there. I
He
think he's got a
did, and then we gave them instead of NIL, they ended up paying for his scholarship. They gave him NIL enough to pay for his first year as a scholarship. He did walk on because he was
yeah.
supposed to go to Ole Miss because Lane Kiffin was like hooting and hollering that he
That's
pulled him
right.
out of Auburn, and then signing day, like he went with Auburn,
But,
and I think they had that set up beforehand and like the NIL thing, and it's just like, hey man, we'll cover your first year, but we can't put you on a scholarship.
well, I just hate to. I mean, this isn't the position he was supposed to be in his first year.
No, it's not. And when somebody gets that doubt in their head like that, especially a specialty position player like that, you can call it the yips, you can call it
Right.
whatever you want to. Like he doubts himself, and this it's too big for him right now.
Yeah.
Everything is moving at 100 miles an hour for that kid,
So it was
and
a crazy idea to be like, we have a chance. If we can do something here, we'll have a chance to maybe kick an onside kick. Let's just go ahead and kick the 50-yard field goal with 5 yards to go. I mean, and then they
well,
call the timeout with 2 minutes and
dude,
1 second. It's like,
dude,
where?
that is the like that is single-handedly. You shouldn't be making the money that Hugh Freeze is making when you call that timeout.
Yeah, to be making like just egregious,
Like,
weird things.
dude, you have 1 second left. We ended up, since he called that timeout, because they punted right after that, and their punter took his time with that Australian style kick and runs
Yes.
around and holds the ball for a few seconds. We got the ball back, I think, with like a minute 46
Yeah.
there.
We
So he
lost
cost us like
15
15
seconds.
seconds. Yes.
Yeah.
You can run two pass plays that won't get to the receiver, but you can still run two in that amount of
Yeah.
time. Like,
Yeah.
so that one, I'm not saying we're going to win the game, but
Right.
dude, that's like, I mean, if you play Madden long enough, you know not to call a timeout there, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like Joe Blow stuff that it's so
it's
weird, man.
it's just, yeah, like, have you coached before, man? Like, is there not an analyst? Like,
Yeah.
I know, and like I'm not comparing the two, but Lane Kiffin has an analyst that stands beside him and tells him the percentage of converting the fourth down on, should you go
Right.
for this play or should you not? They have them in the NFL too. Like, do we not have one
Yeah,
that's
just
like,
like the
dude,
get back coach, it says get back. There's supposed
yeah,
to be somebody watching the clock for all
and
this
just
other.
saying like, call it, yeah, call it,
Yeah.
but like, is he too good to have? I don't know. Like, I don't know these things because I'm not in the program, but I mean, you would think with as much money as as Auburn has, that they could have somebody out there saying like, "You need to go for this fourth down. You don't need to kick it here. Your kicker's missed his last six kicks."
Well, I mean, just watching like this is just kind of came to me because last night on Netflix I was watching the Connor Stallions documentary. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's crazy good.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, he's the one at Michigan. There's
Yeah.
people on the sidelines with the weirdest jobs. There's
Oh
like
yeah.
50 small jobs out there. So these little mistakes are just there's people that are supposed to be taking care of this random stuff. And then like I don't know much. Like, of course, I watched him. We all watched him at Ole Miss and Liberty, and now at Auburn. He's never really had a hard time and had to have like fiery press conferences. But I could use a little more oomph in the press conference just to be like,
That's what I'm saying. Like he just looks defeated.
yeah, It's
like, and it carries over into his sidelines. It carries over, like they showed a pregame speech a couple games ago, and I mean, he was just kind of like, and it's just like, dude, get those guys amped up, man.
yeah.
Get
I
them
mean, yeah,
amped up. Play some music or something. Don't even talk to him, Hugh. Just put on like some music that gets them hyped. Just let them get
yeah.
hyped themselves and go out there and just go.
I was so surprised that we just totally
Well,
went away.
speaking of,
Yep.
at the Kentucky game, they showed that there was like a 2-minute highlight film that the football team put out, and during halftime, Jarquez had his earbuds in and just like bobbing his head. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying he did that the whole time, but
Right.
there's a clip of him in there, just like, pump yourself up, dude. Whatever it takes, like, you know,
Or bring your own speech. Yeah.
yeah. Like, I don't want to hear some monotone preacher just sitting there telling me it's going to be okay. Like, get
Yeah.
fired up. Like, it reminds me of that speech like at Cam Newton
Yeah.
during Clemson. Dude, I'd go out there and fight for him after that speech. Like,
He single handedly flipped that. Yeah. No. Exactly.
yeah, like I don't need a coach telling me what to do. I'm gonna go fight for that guy,
Yeah.
like,
It
but it's
just
just like, man, I don't know if we don't have leaders in there, like, because I know it's a bunch of young guys,
and I've
like,
heard that the older guys are checked out, kind of.
yeah, I mean, I can see it. It seems like a lot of people are. Looks like Hughes kind of checked out.
I mean, like I bought little C money in my we got tickets to the Texas A&M game yesterday. I was like, hey, let's get them before before the Vanderbilt game so that
For
the
the
price
price.
tag
Mm.
and then Texas A&M goes on to lose too, and I was like, well, basically
Just lost money.
we would have had a coupon after this, man.
Buy one, get one free.
God. Mm-mm.
It's sad, man. Like that. It's happened to me a couple times where I'm just like, you know what? Like, I just got to let it go. And it doesn't affect me like it used to. I can be honest. Like, 100%, it doesn't affect me like it used to.
But there's a good, like
But
we were
if I,
saying, a good couple of hours there where I feel like college football should be obliterated from the planet, and then about 6 o'clock after an 11:45 game kickoff, about 6 o'clock, I'm ready to watch football again. But
but I
from like,
even last night, I fell asleep during the Tennessee game, like the end of it. Like, seriously, but like, I worked yesterday some, I worked today. It's like, man, I'm just gonna find something better to do in my time.
I know,
Like, I'd rather make some money than watch this,
yeah.
whatever this is. Like,
Well, I mean,
I
so
don't know.
yeah, so you got the now people are saying fire freeze, and then the I told you so people are coming out. I don't ever want to be confused with that group. I'm not. I would never say fire.
No, that's the worst thing you can do right now with the
Right.
recruiting classes that he had last year and then coming in, and I think he has I think a top 6 in 2026. But
Yeah. No, I would
dude,
never say that. But
if you pull that plug right now, man, oh my God.
oh yeah.
You're talking about probably another 5, 6 years of just
Oh, it would obliterate. Yeah, it'd be awful.
dude.
But it just he
Carson
brings
pretty
on.
much put us on the probation.
Yeah.
Him, like, so people don't realize that, and they want that instant gratification.
Yeah, that's not at this institution right now. That's not happening. Like they're not going to be able to pull that buy everybody in for 1 year because of where we've been trying to catch up from the 2 years before.
Yeah.
But it's just the questions that he causes people to have about what's
Well,
happening is just mind blowing. That's what I'm saying.
well,
Like,
there's always some "I told you so's" out there, right?
oh yeah,
You
always.
know,
Yeah,
like, there's always going to be those people. It's like, man, I told you I was right. And it's his, you know, it's who he is. They're going to attack. You know how it is, man. They're
oh,
going to
it's coming
attack
out.
his. Oh, it's yeah. They're going to attack who he is as a person and be like, well, that's why he can't coach.
Yeah,
Like, I
exactly.
I told you we didn't need him. I told you he was trash. And then the other people that were excited about him are now like, Yeah, and I saw some tweets about it the other day, or yesterday. It's like the January 6th crowd really has a lot of deleting tweets to go
I
back and do.
know.
And I'm
Yeah,
just like, dude, what does that have to do, man?
bro.
Like,
I
I
saw
cannot
that.
wait for this election to be over. Like, I'm so tired of
I know
politics,
exactly
man.
who you're talking about, and I was like, "Whoa!"
And it's just like, dude, we're talking apples and oranges here, man. That's a crazy correlation to make.
Yes, big
But,
time.
you know, everybody wants to be right. And, he didn't pan out this year. That doesn't mean he's not going to pan out. But I'm going to tell you, like, seriously, and just being honest, like, his record is creeping up on him. Like, he doesn't look like he's that good overall, right? I mean,
I
just if
know.
you look at his SEC record, it's kind of shocking. And he actually has a worse record than Brian Harsin did when he got fired now. And it's just like, oh
Yeah,
man.
people are starting
And
to jump on that too.
yeah, and there's some pretty bad losses in there, man, and some pretty embarrassing losses as well. So it's one of those things. Like he's he better find something quick. And I'm not saying he has to do it this year, but next year that's going to be a short leash, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, big time. And the people that the I told you so's are they're stronger than ever. Like they're locked in now. I don't know what
Yeah.
they'll do next year because they're we need to start bookmarking them because they are strong right now. They need to chill out.
Well, you know what? It's what I want to say is like if you feel that strongly about it, donate the money to the cause, and you put your money where your mouth is and buy them out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Send
yeah,
it, send a check to the board and say I'm sick of this. And if they're that strong and there's that many of them, they'll be able to buy them out no problem.
yeah, exactly.
If you feel that strongly about it,
Just
like
start their own GoFundMe website. See where you
I
get.
don't I don't want to fire him in the moment. Am I
No,
happy with what he's doing? Hell no.
no,
Am I happy with what I've seen in the past 5 years in Auburn? Hell no. But he's only been here a year and 3 quarters at this point. So
right.
it ain't all him. We've been trending this way for a long time. And it's just like
I mean, it's
to
not
fix
him, but
it.
I feel like people are going to start wanting some blood soon. They're going to want somebody off that staff to be let go.
The biggest thing, somebody on that staff is gone. I don't
Yeah,
know who it is, but he's gonna have to get rid of somebody.
yeah,
I just hope, I really do, and I wasn't a fan of him at the beginning of the season, but I hope Durkin stays around. Um, I was not a fan, and I don't know. I think he was playing it pretty vanilla because we weren't playing SEC teams, and he was
right.
running that 3-3-5, and we were getting gashed on the
Yeah,
run, man. But once we hit SEC, like he put that 4-man front in the ground and moving those linebackers around and running a 4-2, 4-3.
yeah. I
And
mean, nobody
dude, it's
stopped Vanderbilt like we did.
no, and there's a bunch that I mean, our defense has been lights out. We just can't get off the field.
Mm-mm.
Stupid penalties that jumping over the line, like the defensive pass interference, like just stupid penalties. We can't get off the field, but that defense has been lights out.
Yep.
Um, but then our offense can't get a rhythm to keep them off the field, let them get, warmed up and hyped up. Dude, we
Oh,
did terrible on these picks.
I was just going to look back at it because it was kind of brutal. Let's see. Looking back, Texas A&M. That was all. That was. I guess
We all
everybody
took Texas A&M, right?
exactly, and they got
We all
the
took Auburn.
brakes beat off of them. We all took
Who took
Auburn.
SMU, Matt?
Shark,
Yeah.
shark.
He only did it because he was the last to pick that one, and we all picked Pitt.
But I think so. If we're doing it like we've been doing it, then he gets canceled out by Charlie picking Ole Miss, and the rest of us would lose points if we were doing this. That Texas A&M game, I didn't know if y'all were watching that. I was texting y'all.
I watched a good bit of it. I was flipping back and forth between the Tennessee game and that one.
South Carolina was absolutely just handling them to the point that they were
Er,
calling back long touchdowns for penalties, and then they would just come back and do it again. I mean, it was unbelievable. It wasn't a fluke. It was just a total beatdown. It was crazy.
Yeah, from what I saw, they looked pretty strong.
Yeah, they were real
Um,
strong.
that was kind of. I didn't think it'd go that way for sure.
No, No, we actually removed it from our picks list because everybody took Texas.
Everybody,
We're like,
everybody took A&M.
it doesn't even matter. Yeah,
That's
the only
funny,
one
man.
we split on was the Pitt, SMU, and Ole Miss, Arkansas,
Arkansas,
which was another absolute smashing.
just a shellac.
Oh my god!
Dude,
But
they're ready to fire Pittman, man. Those people over there are up in arms.
dude, I like him. I like the way
Yeah,
he
but
builds
he's not
it.
a he's not a SEC football coach, though, man. He just but you know what? I'll say this though, at the same time, I don't know what Arkansas expects to get.
Yeah, that's what I
You
was
know what I
gonna say.
mean? Like, I don't know what you expect to get in. You got Calipari. Good luck with that. But I don't know
Yeah,
about the
right.
I don't know about the rest of it, man. Like
Yeah,
you just like
that was what I would say. I like him. I like the way he's like that down to earth, blue collar offensive line coach. But there's a
but
bunch
it's
of
only
people that are wanting to get rid of their coaches, and Arkansas is not going to be the one to pull the top of the list. I mean,
no. Well, if they get rid of him, they're going. You know who they're going back to.
oh, they're going to elevate Petrino
Yeah,
from
yeah. Did
OC.
you know 100% they'll go back to him? Like,
Just
well,
don't go
not
back to
100,
him.
but I'd take 95%. They'll go back to him.
I can see that. I can see that one. So let's see
They'll
this
just have him on a short leash like we do Hugh.
no social media.
um, I just feel like they would just I think they would go back to him, man. Because who else are you gonna get?
I don't know. I mean, like for real, there's some big universities that are having awful years and could be considering getting rid of people. So I wouldn't want any of them. And then they're going to be looking for people. I don't know. I don't know what FSU's thinking. If they're going to stick with Norville after this year, that's a question. That was kind of what I was thinking about if you talk about Arkansas getting rid of Pittman. If they get fed up and buy him out, then that's going to be the job that you're going to have to beat out somebody for. Arkansas is not going to get somebody better than FSU is going to get.
No, Onyx, lay down. No, they're not, man. And I don't even know what Norvell's buyout is, but
I don't either, but
I
that
think they'd be
has to
done
be
this year.
that has to be something they're taking money up for already.
You think so?
I mean, what do you do? One win, right? And the rest of them have been just blowouts.
Let's see. What's his buyout?
That's what I was trying to look up. I mean, I
Here.
don't understand what else you do. If you stick with him after this season, which I mean they may, but
Holy shit.
is it huge?
$64 million. If they bought him out this year, 64 million. Holy shit. That's what I just read it's on the FSU wire and usatoday.com, just written today.
64 million?
64 million. He said it says it's the third biggest in the country behind Kirby Smart is 118 million and DeBoer's is 70 million 50,000. His is 778.
Oh, I see where you're at. FSU wire. Because there was another site up here that was saying 6 million.
No, there's no way it's 6. There's nobody in the hell. We can't get rid of Hugh for 6.
True.
The
total value.
They can't get rid of Pittman for 6.
Yeah, there it is. Tallahassee Democrats, $65 million.
They're not getting rid of him, dude.
And that was when they were 0-3. They were writing about that in September.
Well, this is written yesterday.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. This article was written after they had lost 3. They had 3 losses, so I can only imagine the number of articles right now.
Yeah, this is they're 1-8 on the season now after losing to North Carolina.
I mean, 1. That
Dude,
buyout.
That's almost. How much were they going to pay to get out of the ACC? Wasn't it like only 114 or something?
That'd be crazy.
Dude, if you want to get out of the ACC and you get rid of him, man, you're looking at like over $250,000.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it would cost a lot. But
It's like 300.
it would like estimated it would be over 500 million because of other costs.
So you're looking, over half a million for
Not
that,
just
and
the,
then another 65. So they better see if they wanted to stay in the ACC or get rid of him.
yeah. And this article was written after they had just gone 13-0. This is December 29th of last year, talking about them
Oh
leaving the
yeah,
ACC.
when they got left out, because that's when they were like, when they got left out, they were like, we're leaving.
Yeah, and now
The
they're
ACC, ACC was like, not so fast.
yeah. Now you're your own worst enemy for your own argument.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, totally. You guys should have definitely been in it.
Uh, That's a tough spot for them. I don't know that they get rid of him this year for that. Who
Well,
knows?
no,
I guess. I mean,
I came into that blindly speaking for that price. There's no way.
yeah. I was thinking they'd keep him anyways. I didn't think it was that high. I didn't think he had the third highest, but I didn't think they'd get rid of him anyways after 1 year. But who knows?
I mean,
It's
yeah,
a crazy world. Like that football is so weird right now in college, man. You're looking at these teams that are that I don't know, man. It's just like the upsets and the close games.
yeah,
The NIL has really spread out the talent.
it has.
Really spread it out, and there's some ballers out there.
I was trying to look at what the record had been since I've been alive with Auburn, but I'm about to do the math, so I'll do the math and figure it out on my own. Yeah, there is some ballers, and that's what we're saying. You hope that we can keep the ones we have. I mean, some of these teams it's gonna be a fire sale. Well, they're not gonna make any money. It's not a sale, but I mean, there's about to be some people shopping themselves around.
Well, they're going to shop themselves, and then there's there's the tampering that shouldn't be allowed. But how do you can't control it, right?
There's no way to control that.
There's no way to control it.
All it takes is a third party.
Yes, there's too many phone numbers, and all it takes is a text message like, "Hey, if you're interested, here's what we can offer."
Yeah,
You'll see the field.
exactly. Yeah,
We actually here's our quarterback's stats.
yeah. Oh my god! Yeah,
It's so sad, dude.
The other day,
What's crazy is he really didn't even have a bad day, man. 20 of 29 for 239 and a
right.
touchdown. That's not a bad day.
It's not a bad day, but why? I mean, we just cannot get into the end zone. It's crazy, and we can't depend on the field goal kicking. That's sad, but like I say, I really hate the way that kid's getting trashed, though, man.
Oh, I do too. I'm not a believer of trashing kids, man. Like I don't pull the Bama shit, sending death threats, and you should off yourself after bad games with their kickers in the past and stuff. I don't get down with that, man. These are kids, dude. They're playing a game.
Yeah, and there's some like pretty respectable accounts that I'm seeing saying that, and I'm like, that's pretty rough. If you go back and look at where it came from, I mean,
I don't get down like that, man. You're talking to a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're a grown man sitting on a couch, eating some potato chips, judging a game, and talking crap about a 17-year-old, man. Get a life.
Yeah, and you're asking a kid that came in as a kickoff specialist, basically, who's now kicking the ball out of the end zone, and you're asking him now to change that back to the field goal kicking, and it's just, I don't get it. Yeah,
that irks me about all fan bases, man. They're kids, dude. They're playing a game. They're kids, and if
people will say, "Well, they're making $1 million," well, this one's not.
Well, he's not making $1 million, and I don't. Even if they are, man, are you jealous of the money, or are you jealous? You know what I mean? That you never played football, or what is the jealousy here? It's a game, dude. You've never failed in life. If you're going to talk shit to that kid, I hope you've never failed in life at anything. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Just like that's not fair to that kid, man. I know when I was 17, I wasn't standing in front of 86,000 people trying to kick a field goal.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, it's a very strange place to be in. I'm trying to look at I heard the other day that Cal. Okay, they were still living off of our turnover game with them. Now they've gone to. Now they're sixth in the nation. They were still second in the nation in turnover margin,
Cal.
turnover gained until they finally that game had them.
And there were 2 that game that they called back.
Yeah.
Remember that was like the second play of the game or something. That ball flipped out, and they called that one back, and there was another one.
Yep. But they finally fallen to sixth in the nation now. When I heard they were still second, and it was obviously because they played us, I was like, let's see here.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know. Trying to see if anybody else that we've gifted the ball to is up there, but nobody else is that living off of that right now. Yeah, but like you were saying, I mean, we didn't have a bunch of turnovers. I really thought we were going to fall into the interception trap right there at the end when you get the freak out. But no, we kicked a field goal before we could attempted that field goal before we could get into the interception trap. So that was it. That was the end of the game.
It was a rough one, man.
It was rough. Like that one felt really gross.
Yeah. It took a long time to get over too. It was just like such a slow dragging game. I was like, please just let the clock run, man. Can we just get out of here? What about those 10-minute quarters? Can we run a few? Let's run some 10-minute quarters and get this shit over with.
No kidding.
You have to laugh to keep from crying, man.
You do. I mean,
it's rough, dude.
That's why I was going total negative tilt, but then I was like, no, I've never. I mean, even when Harsin was there, I wasn't like, I'm never watching Auburn football again. Now you see people that are saying, I'm never watching it again until Peyton Thorne's gone.
They will be the first ones after the bye week. They'll be the first ones on there talking crap.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like I don't want to get into politics, but it's like the people are like, if so and so's elected, I'm moving out of the country.
I'm leaving the country, yeah.
And they never leave. They never leave. So it's the same. It's everything's for attention, man. Yep. They'll be back. They're not going anywhere.
Start holding people to these social media posts.
Yeah.
I was looking at
you do that, and then you get caught up in their drama, and it's just like,
oh yeah, I avoid the drama.
Like yeah, it's like I could bookmark this and call you out on it, but
there's a couple of,
you know what I mean? It's like I thought you weren't watching again.
there's a couple of Auburn accounts that have been like negative for the past month about just, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's engagement farming, and it's just popular to be negative. So let's just do it. But they'll be back real quick, and then, like you say, if you bookmarked them.
Yeah, then they would block you.
Yeah.
It's just not worth me to get into it with them, man. I used to. Now, Bama fans, I will, but they're having a rough time on their own. I don't need to.
Yeah, they are. And so coming up this week, they got LSU. Georgia has Ole Miss. At Ole Miss at 2:30.
That could be because Georgia hasn't looked good recently, man. And Beck has thrown 3 interceptions in his last 2 games.
Yeah.
That could be a.
It's weird. His second year because he was Heisman Trophy candidate, and it's weird that they're still balling.
But he lost Brock Bowers and that other wide receiver, Conkey.
Yeah, Ladd
McConkey, yes.
Yeah.
And those 2 dudes were his safety outlets, man. And that's what killed us in that Georgia game last year, too, if you remember.
I was there. It was brutal.
I'm sure you remember this. We had that game in the books, and then all of a sudden Brock Bowers came alive and just torched us, man.
Over the middle.
Yeah, like, can we not put a safety down there? Like, what is going on?
Yep. I was there. That one hurt.
But yes, so his 2 safety valves left. So I could see him not being as good and trying to force some balls into some guys that definitely aren't as talented and they don't have the experience.
Yep.
But that could be an interesting game, the Ole Miss Georgia game. What time is that game?
So that's what I was saying. That's 2:30 because that was where Lane had a fit.
Oh yeah.
He wanted a nighttime game. But you haven't had the season to warrant the nighttime game.
Poor guy. I feel so bad.
He can't catch a break. He's
Hey,
always Alabama.
karma's a bitch.
Shit. That dude, karma does not hit Lane Kiffin.
Oh, dude,
Oh
it
my
does.
If
It
it
does.
do you think so? That
In
dude
ways, yes.
if you go from
Because
Tennessee to
here's the reason.
USC to Alabama
Okay.
to Ole Miss, like he's lived a pretty good life, even doing all the crazy stuff he did.
Before
Even
that, dude,
leaving Tennessee.
his dad was invented the Tampa 2 in NFL. He grew up on NFL sidelines. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, karma does catch up with you, people like that, because now he has everything. He should be the most grateful person in the world. What's he
Oh yeah.
complaining about? I can't get a night game.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You can't win the big games, so they're not going to give you a night game. You know what I mean?
And there's
They almost
people.
left him. They almost left him on the tarmac,
Yeah.
numerous times.
And there's boosters that are
So
paying a whole lot of money for you to have won the games you lost, and they're
yes, and his whole undoing at Bama with the Joey Freshwater and out chasing college students. Man, come on, man. Like I said, he comes back.
Joey Freshwater is the best name that anybody could ever come up with. Like he trolled himself with
He,
that one.
he probably had like a PR firm come up with
I
that.
mean, it was too good. The name is too good.
He probably had a PR firm.
That is the
It
best
really
undercover
is.
name, man.
Joey
Jeez.
Freshwater.
All right, so we'll do
But
the picks on what was it? Let's see. Tomorrow's Monday, so I'll have to do the picks on Wednesday night. We'll do picks Wednesday night.
that
If that's
works.
good. Yeah.
Are there any good games on Thursday or Friday?
Let's see. I was looking at the schedule. All I see right now is Saturdays.
Let's go.
So I just have the top 25 pulled up though. Picking the spread will be pretty cool because Florida, Texas, that'll be a fun game to look at the spread on. Because they could come alive again.
They could.
There were some upsets this past weekend. I mean,
Yeah, I
every
don't
week.
think there's any Thursday, Friday games.
Okay.
No, that is top 25. Hold on. California, Wake Forest, they're both 4-4.
Cal's 4-4. God.
Yeah, Cal at Wake.
Oh.
Florida Atlantic at East Carolina was on Thursday. Probably no good one. Iowa, UCLA.
It's kind of bleh.
Yeah, there's not much. Just
Uh-uh.
clicking through. Oh, wow. Oh, that's Tuesday. Would be after we picked. Let's say we should pick a MAC game.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not much out there.
Well, we'll pick. I'm sure it'll be Florida, Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss.
Oh, we're picking this.
What?
App State at Coastal Carolina. They're both 4-4 in the Sun Belt, and Coastal Carolina's -1.5.
Wow. Is that Saturday?
It's Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, App State, Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina -1.5 on Thursday night. That'd be
I'll
a good
put
one.
that in there. App State. All right, I'm gonna put that right there. It'll pop up on the text thread, so I don't want to forget that one.
That'd be a good one, man. Because -1.5. That's low. That's a good one.
That's crazy. The Vegas guys.
They must know something.
All right, man. Well,
it's been a good one, man.
Yeah. Fun. Just to shoot the breeze.
Yeah, for sure. Good to get it off my chest, man. It makes me feel better. I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
There you go.
Get that Auburn hate off my chest.
Yeah, it's a therapy session.
It really is.
If we lose to ULM, I will make a therapy opening that will beat everything.
Come one, come all.
I will need therapy after that. Big time. All right, man.
I don't even want to think about it, to be honest.
No, I don't either.
I don't want to think about it. So,
All right, man. I'm gonna click on this, and then we'll hit it back
all
up on
right.
Wednesday.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, brother. Good talking to you.
How did a team filled with hope and talent descend into this abyss of mediocrity? Join us as we discuss the death of this season. Welcome.